A very good morning to all of you, honorable ministers, senior secretaries, Government of India, distinguished guests, my colleagues, my dear friend Mukesh Ambani, and all of you who have taken the time out here this morning. My very warm welcome. I am exceptionally delighted today on many accounts, but let me say that finally we are having our own telecom congress. This was long in the making, this was long overdue, and I'm delighted that COI, along with the support from Ministry of Communications and MeitY, and with the active participation from the Secretary Telecommunications, we have been able to put this show together in a short time frame, but in a spectacularly impactful way. This year has been a year of several Mobile World Congresses, and I'm pleased that I, as India's representative on the global stage, have had the privilege to chair all the three Mobile World Congresses. The Barcelona, which is currently the biggest of all, in February, followed by Mobile World Congress in Shanghai, and 2 weeks back on the 12th of this month, the Mobile World Congress in San Francisco, which I had the privilege to chair as well. I was the founder chairman of COI way back in 1994, and I'm therefore very pleased that under the aegis of COI, which was founded in 1994, with some fledgling small startups like us, have today been able to put together this wonderful show together. Ladies and gentlemen, for DOT, for the MeitY, for all the senior government officials who have supported this, and in particular COI and Rajan, let's give him a big hand. And as was pointed out by Secretary earlier and Mukesh, I think India's time has clearly come to make this as now perhaps the world showcase for what's happening in the area of digital technologies. And I have no doubt this first edition that has started today will grow in size and stature to ensure that GSMA, which does these three big conferences, gets associated with this. And I, in my own position as the chairman of GSMA, I will ensure that the GSMA combines its forces with the India Mobile Congress to make this the world showpiece for everyone to come and enjoy, see what this country is doing. We are on the cusp of some very exciting developments in this industry. I would have never imagined just even 5, 7, 8 years back that the shift in technology, the pace in technology will be such that we will be now conjuring images of a very new world that we are all going to live in. The early trailers that are being seen around AI, backed by cloud computing, AR, VR, putting at our doorstep products like robotic surgeries, AI-backed bots in the banks, in the law firms, autonomous cars, managing very complicated nuclear power stations to manufacturing machines, and all are being led by this new innovative wave of digital technology. Some of those were talked by Anandan from Google. You are seeing, when you're going around the globe, fantastic things happening. I think one very important part I'd like to share with you is, wherever in the world I'm going, the attention towards India is very large. I was in the Google campus just 2 weeks back, where Sundar Pichai hosted the GSMA board. We looked at what all Google is doing, but what was delightful for us to see that in each one of their products and services that were being developed, India was at its core. The new Android Go smartphone, which will be a low-cost smartphone, fueled and propelled by Google, is targeting India. The YouTube Lite is looking at India. Almost every product that is coming out of these large stables of technology innovation hubs are looking at India as one of their inspirations to make those products efficient and tailor-made for countries like India. This is a big departure when technologies were being made just for the Western world. I also had the occasion to spend some time with Mark Zuckerberg, who is on his parental leave, but I met him at his home. In the 1-hour conversation that we had, India was clearly on his mind, and he spoke a lot about how Facebook growth in India is fueling the company's future going forward. So each one of these large telecom technology honchos are looking at India. And frankly, India with 1.3 billion people, and now increasingly going towards a market of 3+1 telecom players, offers a great opportunity. Yes, we all are aware of the challenges that this industry faces, but I would say there are not too many markets in the world where you have 1.3 billion potential people to use and consume digital media. You have a prime minister and a government which is committed to using digital platforms to serve the societies. This combination gives me hope that India will emerge as one of the leading telecom markets anywhere in the globe. Clearly, as Mukesh pointed out, none of us can do it alone. We all have to come together while we compete head-on for the benefit of customers. We have to collaborate amongst ourselves, create ecosystems, use common towers, hopefully common fiber. Submarine cables are all in consortiums today, and some moonshots in the form of satellite projects are also being experimented to ensure that countries like India get the best benefits out of the same. But again, the industry alone will not be able to do it, as he rightly pointed out. We will need to combine our forces with the government. Government policies will have to eventually decide how fast this digital wave in this country can propel the citizens and the benefits being passed on to the society forward. I have no doubt that the Government of India is acutely aware that the hard infrastructure is going to take a lot of time to be built. While a lot of investment is going into roads, ports, airports, electrification, it is going to take some time. Physical infrastructure has its limitations. It has time lag. It takes time to execute those projects. While I'm glad that those are being done in the right earnest, a lot of money is being sanctioned, a lot of projects are moving forward, and a lot of issues around ease of doing businesses are being dealt with. It is the digital platform that the government has rightly picked up as one of the cornerstone of transforming India, which will, to my mind, deliver. And we in the telecom industry, under the aegis of COI, collaborating with DOT, METI, and other ministries, will ensure that we move forward in a fast way. I have the benefit of very senior ministers of the government here, and I would like to urge them to help us in finding ways and means to get easy right-of-way. While we get a lot of support from the central government, at the state government, we are still inhibited of putting in fiber into the streets and the roads. Right-of-way is difficult to get, it's expensive. You have rightly opened up government buildings to putting up towers, yet on the ground, the permissions don't come easily. We will need your support to ensure that while we are rolling out these large networks, we do get red carpet treatment. And like you, sir, the state governments, the municipalities, local governments must understand the power of digital India, and they must come out all in support of what we are trying to do. There's generally an acquisition on the Indian industry for the last 2 or 3 years that we don't invest enough. And partially, I would concede you're right. But this industry in particular is doing a yeoman service in investments. This industry is an exception to the rule. Indian companies are investing with their ground on the feet. They are putting in large amounts of money. My own company, Airtel, would have put in up to September over 10,000 crores in hard infrastructure. This year, the plan is to put up 18 to 20,000 crores of investment. Mukesh is putting up a lot of investments, and I'm sure the other telecom companies are doing the same. So overall, 50, 60,000 crores just in 1 year is going into building hard digital infrastructure. BSNL is doing its own lot, and there are many other smaller operators who are also trying to contribute towards this investment. Government policies which can enable these investments to be put onto the ground faster will greatly enable us to reach the vision that you have and our Prime Minister has in a faster and more impressive manner. I'm pleased that Bharti, which started its journey way back in 1983 actually, by launching India's first push-button phone, India's first cordless phone, India's first telephone answering machine, and fax machine, and of course, first mobile phone, will continue to be a major player in the space of telecommunications in providing heft and leverage to the digital economy, digital society. All our young startup companies, all our young people will ensure that they enjoy the benefits of telecom technology. And we will stay ahead on the curve. As you will leave this hall and go into the exhibition, you will see India's first massive MIMO, which has been deployed, which is now being deployed by Airtel around the country, and you will see the speeds and power of massive MIMO in the exhibition that Airtel has put out into their stalls here. And this clearly means that India will now no longer stay behind the curve on technology. follow the world after 2, 3, 4, or 5 years, but be in step, head to head, with what's happening in the globe. So therefore, as 5G starts to develop globally, India is keeping a very close track. All of us players who are in the marketplace will ensure that India is rewarded with latest technologies for the benefit of its societies. Let me end by saying, I think our generation is fortunate to see some early changes that are being brought by digital technology. But it will really be our next generation which will witness an entirely new world. I can only conjure some images from autonomous cars and arriving at your doorstep to flying cars which will take you from Pragati Maidan to Gurgaon in less than 10 or 11 minutes. I had my first exposure to a flying car in Germany just last month. And these are not sci-fi imaginations. These are realities that are happening on the ground. AI-based doctors, which will be bots on the other side, will ensure that the people who are in the villages who don't have access to good health care are being attended for their primary care and perhaps some of the tertiary care as well through these bots. Banks, broking communities will all see transformations on their floors where they do trading. It will be all AI-based bots which will be doing the job. There is going to be a massive transformation, and I think our industry is embracing that change. It's getting ready for that change. But I really, truly wish that we would be living into the next generation to see all those changes. But I hope, together with friends like Mukesh, we will build something for the future. Let me end by saying, I'm reminded of William Wordsworth's poem. After the 1789 French Revolution, he mentioned, bliss it was to be alive in the dawn, but to be young was very heaven. I wish I was 25, 30 to see what's going to happen in the next 40 years, but I'm sure that we will lay the foundation for those who are going to enjoy in the next generation. Thank you very much.